Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Redbox Studio Facebook live series. And today, it's a special day, of course, it's Deepavali. So, for those of you who are watching who are celebrating Deepavali at home, happy Deepavali to all of you. And today, this is a special episode because I wanted to bring on a friend who is in the online retail business, and she is going to share with us some amazing stories of herself starting, as well as some of her success and some of the recommendations and strategies. So if you are watching this after this in the replay, welcome once more to this series. If you are watching it live right now, welcome. And please let us know where you're from if you're new to this series. And my name is Krista Goon, and I'm going to be the host for today. So let me just introduce Jerrica Tan before I bring her on, okay? So Jerrica is the co-founder and director for Soap Cart, where she researches, makes, and teaches people how to make handmade soaps using natural ingredients. Before starting her business, she worked for more than 20 years in the human resources application fields as software and technical consultant for both internal and external customers. When she learned that her child had special needs and that commercial cleaning and personal care products further aggravated his condition, she discovered her passion for making handmade soap. Now, this is pretty interesting, isn't it? So we will delve into her story as we go along. So Jerrica graduated from the University of Portsmouth with a master's degree in strategic business IT. And using all this software background, she merges IT into her business that focuses on natural personal health care. And while juggling between her business and her family, Jerrica enjoys watching animes and reading fan fictions in her free time. So I'm sure you're excited to meet Jerrica, just as I am. Hi, Jerrica. I think you're muted, if not mistaken. Yeah. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let's see. Let me just check on this. Okay. Okay, try again. Oh, okay. I think there's a problem with the mute. Shall I remove you and then you come in again? Okay, let me just remove her. Okay, so this is some of the things that sometimes do happen when we are live. So this is really live. Okay, this really happens. So let me just add her back again. Let's see what happens. Oh, your mic is not connected, Jerrica. Wait, hang on. It's showing me that your mic is not connected. Hang on now. So let's figure this out first. I think your mic is not connected, Jerrica. Yeah, okay. 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 So I was telling them that this is actually what happens when we do live. Sometimes weird stuff happens. As I mentioned it before, weird stuff always happens. So how are you, Jerrica?
Fine. Good morning. Yeah, good morning still.
So before we get started into your story, before we start talking about you and how you started the business of selling and retailing and making soaps, I know they've been reading a book this week. Is it this week or recently?
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
share with us. Share with us.
Okay. Currently I'm reading this. Can see. Okay.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Actually, we bought this book more than 2 years already, but I haven't got the time to actually read it. So now, I think recently I'm going to start to read it, and I'm currently only in chapter 2. In chapter 2.
How do you find the book?
It's very interesting because it's full of real life stories, inspiring stories of how people they achieve their dreams through their desires and their faith. So basically, but I'm still in just chapter 2. So the gist of it is if you have the desire um of what you want, a clear picture of what you want, then you can actually really achieve it. And from the stories, real life stories in the book, actually is very inspiring. It shows that even what people deem as impossible somehow
Yeah.
become possible for them. Yeah.
Okay. That is
So
that is a great starting point for our episode today. Because today I want to really, because I know you for many years already and I know your story. So that's why I feel that I think it's also good to share your story with the other people, especially a lot of people these days where we're talking about going online and selling online and doing everything online, right? Everyone
yeah.
has some form of expectation, some form of idea of what they want to do. But I think more and more we need to see people who have done it, people who can share some of their, well, we call it the journey with us. So
Mhm.
maybe you want to start and let us know how you got started. I know I read the introduction about how you got started, but that's just a short summary of it. Tell us the actual
Mhm, mhm.
story of how many years ago and what happened, and how that began for you.
Okay. It first start. Actually, I realized soap making as a hobby, and then when as a mother, right, especially as a new mother that time when I first had my son, everything we thought was rosy as well. So because my son, as long as the child follow the milestone, you feel that okay, everything is milestone, everything is okay. But then when we started our child in a full day nursery, uh, that's when we started getting setbacks. They say that they can say that your son is not normal. Like he's having problem regulating himself. Because all this while we were taking care of him, he's alone, so we can't really compare how a child should react with other children. I mean, he can play with his sibling, I mean not siblings, his cousins, everything well. But when we send to nursery teachers, they can see that how he interact with more children. So the teachers start giving feedback that it's very hard to control him. When he has outbursts, it's very hard to calm him down. So when we send him to daycare, every time he wake up from his nap, he will cry for like at least an hour plus, cry and shout or at least an hour plus. So the teachers start complaining, say that they can't really take care of him. So they actually asked us to send him for some diagnosis. So we did send him to a diagnosis, and then we sent him to a clinical psychologist. And during that time, they just mentioned that your son was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder. It was like I think about almost 9 years ago. So that term was very, very new because we only heard about autistic at that time.
Yeah.
So the psychologist said, no, it's not autistic, it's sensory processing disorder. So we have no idea what the heck is that. They try to
Yeah.
explain also, it's very, very confusing. So
Plus, he's
even
your only that time only child, right?
he was
Before
the
that,
only child that time.
yeah.
Mm. But that time, I already pregnant with my second child. That time I was
Okay.
pregnant with my second child already. So even in the internet, very little resources about what is SPD is all about. So I have to go and even buy some books from Amazon, import it in because Malaysia we don't really have any resources. Then when I read through the books, all these articles, it mentioned that the sensory processing disorder is actually of how the brain interprets things is different from us. Okay, we can see lights normally, or we can feel sounds, right? But when they receive input and the brain process it, it could be aggravated a bit like autistic, but it's not autistic. It could be like the sound that we hear is normal, but for them it's very loud, or if they can hear certain tune that make them feel excited or interested. Okay, and we also noticed that when we send him for haircut, it was really a nightmare, because when you cut your hair, right, and the hair falls on his neck, it feels for him it's like very, very painful. The hair is like poking him, is very,
Poking
very
it.
hard. He was crying and shouting, said it was very, very painful. So we were very surprised, because when we sent him for the haircut for the first time at the hair salon, even the hair salon person is very scared, you know. When they cut the hair, he cried and shout like that. So then we realized that it's because of that. And we also read through that he can't really use all these commercial products, because again, because when we use all these commercial products, some part of it will go into our body, and us normally we can actually flush it out. Our body or brain will actually flush it out. But for them, it's because their brain process it differently. So some of the toxins could be in their body longer time. So it is very hard for them to flush it out, and also because of the fragrances that they use in the commercial products will actually aggravate the situation because of the stimulations, all those stuff. So because of that, since I know soap making, I changed everything that I use, including the dishwashing, the laundry, everything, even everything. I changed everything to homemade. Okay, because when he went into the nursery, before I start to change everything, he was even banned from, not to say banned, he cannot even join the school concert. They actually don't let him to go to school concert together with other children, because they said he can't really follow the programs. Okay, so after that we start to change everything. We even send him to occupational therapy, speech therapy, and all these cost a lot of money. Each session costs about a few hundred ringgit, and 1 week you need to send for many, many sessions. So that one also take a lot of strain on our financial status. Okay.
At that time, you're still working, right? That time, you're still working?
Yeah, I'm still working.
And your husband's also still working?
Both of us are working, but it's also drain us. So we also feel that our middle income, it also drain us a lot. So if let's say for those lower income people, if they have this kind of situation, it will even more stressing for them. It was already stressing for us already at that time. Then following that, after we send him to therapy, we try to change his diet. It doesn't really work also. So we can only start to see improvement after we start to change whatever he uses. I mean, the one we use his clothing for his personal care and all those stuff. Then we start to see improvement that even by the time he graduated from his kindergarten, he is actually taking the lead role in his school concert. He's the main actor in the school concert.
So became you could see a progress lah, from being banned to joining to taking a lead role. So that's a testament lah.
Yeah, even the teachers are very happy and very surprised that they can see his changes. It's easier for him to follow the program, and then easier for him to actually communicate with them already. So even because he's in daycare, right, in the nursery and daycare, so we even changed ask the school to change whatever they use for his taking bath there and all the person. So he changed so they can really see the improvement. So even the teachers are asking for some of the samples that they can use for other children and see whether it works or not. Okay, so from there on, we realized that it's what we use that is important. And also because of we continue with therapy, we also looking at ways of how to improve our income, because just working alone is not enough. That's not enough. So we started with part-time, because if I just make small batches, the cost is very expensive. So looking for the right materials, looking for good materials, good ingredients for my child is very important, because if you choose the wrong one, it will aggravate his situation. So we need to ensure that the things we use is really natural, really pure. Then if you go there and you outside and looking for natural and pure, somehow it's even more expensive you buy synthetic.
True. Organic is so much more expensive, right, these days.
That's correct. So we are during that time we really look hard to look for the right ingredients, and at the same time is because we continue sending to the therapy. We also talk to other mothers and we also sharing stories. So we know how difficult it is to look for certain things for our children. Yeah. So after that, once I got the sauce, I start to get it in smaller batches. Then I start to share and then share the cost, at least other mothers who can benefit from it. Then yeah, that's how we founded Soap Cart, so that we can actually introduce more mothers to go into the natural path, so that they can actually help their families and also help them to get good and natural stuff more affordable. Yeah.
So that's how you started. How many years ago was that when you officially started Soap Cart?
Officially started, I think it's about that part time. Started from part time. I think about maybe 6 years. Maybe 7 to 6 years, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
7 years, I think.
So that was when you were doing it part time. You still held your full time job.
Yes.
And you were still doing it part time. So tell us a little bit about how that was like, juggling both your full time job and making soaps and selling soaps, or at least doing work on the weekends.
When we first started, we haven't really go online yet. We were trying to do the traditional way part time, where on weekend we try to go to the market, farmers market, and sell or open the booth. During that time, me and my husband are both from IT field, so we have zero sales background. So when we first started, I just make soaps. Then for me, the soap is good, can be used. Then I try to sell it. So when I want to sell it, at first I put in the booth, then in the market, and I noticed that nobody even come to my booth. I'm a very shy person. I can't really stand up. Hey, come and look at my soap. so I can't really attract attention by myself. So, and I also noticed that people don't really even come to my booth and look at what I'm offering. So when I go back and share my husband, say, hey, my soap is not even selling, people are not even looking at it. So I said, maybe, then he suggested maybe we try to brush up the packaging a bit. So he had to design the nicer looking label so that for me to write my soap. Then after that, the following, because we only managed to go once a month went to the farmers once a month. So the next following month, with the nicer looking labels, we put our soaps up. People start to take notice. They come, oh, what's that? Okay, they say, oh, what's that? I said, oh, this is a handmade soap. They say, oh, it's nice, it's very good. Handmade soap, we know it's very good. How much does it cost? So when I said, oh, one bar is 20 ringgit, they said, oh, okay. And they just put it back and walk away.
Okay.
It attract people to come, but when they ask about the pricing, it really turn them off. Yeah, because you can get a very cheap, much cheaper soap from the supermarket. Commercial soap, much cheaper supermarket. Okay. But we never give up. We continue on to educate people. So then we also noticed that soap is not really selling fast. So following month, then I have brainstormed with my husband again and said, that's the soap itself not very sellable. So we must offer something else. So then he said, us Malaysians usually like to DIY themselves. So why not we have to offer them courses for them to learn to make the soap. And there's something, yeah. So then, okay, then the following month, then I started with a form for them that, okay, we also offer DIY courses. If you're interested, just write down your names. Yeah. Then when we have courses, we have courses. So people start to fill in the list rather than buying soap.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty smart. Means like, after that, instead of getting them to buy the soap directly, you started to offer them something that maybe they could be interested in. Not then and there, but something that they could potentially want to sign up for.
Yeah, because if people come to talk to you in the booth, usually they got other things to do, so they can't really talk too long. So we can't really tell them what are the real good things about soap. But if they come to the course, we have a full session. We can actually explain them the benefits of using soaps. Handmade soaps. We can actually tell them application of using commercial soaps over a long period of time. And then from there also they learn how to use the natural ingredients for themselves and family. So that one, I think for them to accept natural handmade soap is easier rather than you just sell to them directly. We noticed that. So that's how we started with classes also. So we started small. We rented
But then can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure,
You
sure,
were
sure.
saying that you're from an IT background and then you're quite shy and all that. So how did because teaching is another form of talking in front of at least a smaller or even a number of people. How did you take to that, or how did you learn to adapt to that, or was that something that came naturally to you?
Teaching for me is okay. I'm comfortable because I know the topic. I can talk about it.
Okay.
But when talking to people, it's more like when strangers and you meet for the first time, it's very hard for me to conversation. I can't really
Okay.
start a conversation with the person when I meet them for the first time. I need to get to know them after some time, and then we can talk. So normally for me it's like, hello, how are you? Then say the name already. Then my mind will think, what should I talk about next? In the classes, I already have a plan of what I want to talk about already. So it's easier because there's a common topic that we want to talk about, so it's easier for me.
Okay. So that was okay for you, lah. So I just wanted to maybe because some people say, oh, but she says she's shy, but she has to teach a class. So if you're teaching a class that the subject matter is something that you really really know very well, you're okay with it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then what started us is but then the class, because I only working part times. Sorry, I'm working full time. I only do some part time, so I don't really do much classes. Also once a month only. So on the first year, it's mostly on physical. I mean, try to sell the soaps, try to conduct classes. So that year, I think we only earn very little. I think, if I remember correctly, for the whole year, what we do is we only get back 6,000. Only 6,000. We only earn revenue of 6,000, so it's very little. It's not enough to cover. It covers maybe part of the cost, but that's it. Then after that, and the following year, we are trying to market up our product. We actually introduce our essential oils because a lot of people says, somehow when I use your essential oil, because they buy some of the ingredients back for them to make soap, and then they start to try even they use the essential by themselves itself. They say it's very good. Then we also know that it's very good because we use it, but we never thought of selling it. We always thought it's only soap. Okay, then since if that's the case, then we also start to market our not only soap, but even the ingredients that we use to make soap, especially the oils, essential oils, curry oils, and also the raw materials. So we start to market it out. Again, we haven't even go online yet. The second year we haven't go online yet. So we try to market it by printing out flyers, distribute flyers. We even tried to advertise. Last time the people used to draw off this magazine of all the services and products to all the networks. We try to go there also. Again, we don't see results. We don't really see results from all this. Then so we thought of why not try online. Okay.
But
Our
you're both
first
IT specialists, right? We're both IT people.
we never really thought about it until somehow. I'm also not sure why we never thought about it initially. Okay. Then only we start to go look into online. So we started with a Facebook page, a very simple Facebook page. But we haven't really started with much Facebook ads yet. We just started Facebook page first. Then only we look into our own website. We created our own website. With the simple pictures. The picture was very ugly last time because we used our handphone to take the photo and then try to post it up, and it was very ugly. Then after that only we invest on a good camera. Then only we take photos of all our products and we put in on our website. So our website was there about more than 4 years, 3 to 4 years. We started that. Okay, you can flash out the website.
Okay, I will show the
Yeah.
website. Okay, so
This is
this is
our website. Yeah.
Jerricas.
www.soapcard.com. Okay, so these pictures are taken with a nice, better camera right, rather than the handphone.
Yes, it's quite
Okay.
obvious that the pictures are really nice now. I must say, with colorful soaps and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
if you go on
you still take your own pictures in house
sometimes. Actually,
sometimes.
now we try to outsource more. At least we got more time to do things. Those are a lot when we did outsource already. But then for the newer products, we actually try to take it in and see. You still when we have time, lah. So
Okay.
these are we upload a new pictures of all our bottles and our products also. We try to refresh it lah, every few years.
Okay. So since
Mm.
after that, when you started, okay, so I know you tried a couple of offline methods to promote your soaps and your essential oils, but they didn't really work out well for you. And then you started your own website, right? Eventually, and you started your
Yeah,
own
so
Facebook
on
page.
website,
Yeah.
yeah, we try to even set the SEO and all those stuff.
Mm.
The SEO, we noticed that it does give us higher ranking in terms of searches, but not much sales come in also. Not much sales
Okay.
come in. Then
So what changed?
after
What
that,
changed?
what changed is we started to look into marketplace, online marketplace. So
Okay.
that time Lelong was the in thing. So
Mm.
we subscribed to Lelong.
Okay.
Um, After Lelong, then we subscribed to Lazada. Okay,
Mm.
once we start to Lelong another, because they are marketplace, they actually really do marketing very well. They start to push things. Then that is where we start to receive sales, online sales. So I still remember when we got our first online sale from Lelong and Lazada, we were very happy. One day, one sale. Actually, it's 1 week, one sale only, But we were
Okay.
very, very happy when we pack it up. But even write a return, say thank you for being our first customer in Lelong. So when we receive a customer, say thank you for being our first customer in Lazada. So we write a small thank you note. Sales are very excited, very happy that we received sales from it. So that's where we start to see sales come in from online,
Mm.
especially when we start Leno and Lazada. And then we try to actually do some promotion and campaign to attract people also. So
Mm.
at first we started off by looking at the physical store, at Christmas, they will say do Christmas sales. So we'll try to do Christmas sales in our website by
Mm.
publishing on the day. But we
Mm.
noticed that it doesn't work somehow because we realized that um, let's say Christmas is on the 25th, people won't stay at home and browse and shop online. They will go out and then go shopping mall and buy instead. So when you do promotions for holidays, it only works for physical store because people will go out and buy from them. But if you do online, people on that day itself, or let's say on Chinese Day, on that day itself, people won't really go online and buy from you. So we start to look at how Lazada and Lelong market it. So let's say they are doing Raya promotion. The Raya promotion is at least 1 month to 2 weeks before the Raya itself. So
Mm.
then we
Way
follow
ahead
them.
lah. Way ahead lah.
Wait ahead. Then we follow them.
Yeah.
Then if you do that, we following their period, the sales come in rather than you do the campaign on that day itself. Then we realize,
Mm.
it's because people will buy online earlier rather than on that day, because on that day people will go out and visit friends and families or watching movies, so they really don't buy. So this is one of the point that we learn from marketplace also. So it's good that we go to marketplace. We learn on when they start to do the campaign. We can look at the period and then we follow them. Because again, like me and my husband, we don't know marketing much, so we just see what's that they are doing and then we follow them and we see results from there. Okay. After Lazada, then the following year we go to Shopee. So we try to like at least once a year, every year we do something new. We do something fresh for our company. So the first year we started, after we have a website, we go to Lelo, and the following year we go to Lazada, and then the following year again we go to Shopee. So
So every year you add on a
since
new
then,
marketplace lah.
on marketplace, we look for a very good marketplace and we will go in. And
Yeah.
and I think after we go to Shopee already, about maybe 6 months to 8 months later, the ball start rolling until we cannot even cope some anymore. The ball start with plus the family commitment, plus our full-time job, plus all the online sales. The somehow the business keep on coming. It doesn't wait for us. Last time is we are waiting for the business. We publish, we wait for the business. We got things to do our stuff, our job. So when the sales come in, we just buy it at night and send it off. That's it. But now is because of the marketplace, the sales keep on coming in. We can't really cope with it anymore. So that's why we decided. Oh, okay. It's time to it's time to look at whether we want to continue with our full-time job, or we want to go full-time on the business already. And we noticed that the business is no longer waiting for us. It actually pushing us, hey, you must come already. We won't wait for you anymore. So that's why we decided to go full-time. Yeah.
When
And
when
also,
you saw this, when you saw this spike in business, was it because of all your years of being in the marketplace, or was it like one specific marketplace that pushed your sales? Or was it a cumulative
I
effort?
would say cumulative effort. Because we don't really market it initially, we don't really know how to market it, and the marketplace really push for us, and we are very thankful that the early adopters, our early customers try our product, because saying something new, something so cheap, people may have reservation. Why is essential oil is claim pure, but why is it at this pricing? So we are very thankful that people, our initial customers, they actually bought it and try it, and they give a good feedback for us. So from the feedbacks, actually, we also receive calls from our customers saying that, hey, your product is very good. And they actually use it for their business. They also introduce to their friends. So we are very thankful for that. Actually, we receive many calls from those customers that use our products, and they help them. So we are very happy that our products can help them also. And they also share information of how they use it for themselves and how does it work. And then when other people have similar issue, they contact us. We also share with them our stories of how we use it, and also the customers how they use it. And then this actually helps to increase our customers following as well. Thanks to the reviews and the comments and the supports from all the customers that we have.
Okay. So then after that, what was that thing? So that time when it spiked, so you had to start considering whether you want to stick with your job, your career, or focus on the business, right?
Yeah, then not only that, because of family commitment, because that time my mother-in-law start to have health failure, means she start to get sick frequently. So we also looking at that so that we can spend time taking care of her at the same time as looking at the business. So so that's why when both of us decided, okay, we have to think really think hard, because we also worry, because now we see the spike. If after we resign already, then the spike go down, that will be our only bread and butter now. So we also had that worry, but then okay, but even though I read this book late, but we still go for it, and luckily, thank God it never really goes down. So it still, the business still comes in, and we still continuing on.
Okay. So what is a day-to-day in your life of running an online store or running an online business? How does a day-to-day work for you and your husband?
I would say the time is more flexible now. Okay, so some more because of the MCO, right? The children have no school, they can't go to school. It's also even more flexible for us. But pity them that they had to follow us to the office.
Okay.
Normally we started our day a bit later, about maybe 10 to 11 will be at the office. We want to let the orders, we have a cut off for orders so that we can ship out on the same day. So normally we cut off at between 12 to 1 o'clock. So all the orders received before that, we will go to the office, we will print it out, we will process it, and then we will do the sorting, and then we'll do the packing. By the time we finish packing is maybe about 3 to 4 o'clock, and then we will arrange for drop off, and the couriers will come and collect the packages and then send off. So by the time we finish all the paperwork, it will be about 5 o'clock. Then we'll just leave home. So normally we spend time in the office is between 11 to 5, around there. Yeah. So in the morning we got time to do what we need to do for the household, and then in the afternoon at least got time to do whatever is needed also. But then of course, being our own business, even though you don't spend that much time in the office, at home also you do your business, like replying to chats, answering customers inquiries, replying emails, then try to brainstorm with my husband of what to do next. All this somehow it takes up 24 hours of your time also, but it's still manageable. Still manageable.
I want to answer this question because I heard the answer before, but I want our audience to hear it. Is that you, because you sell soap. Soap is easier, right? Soap is easier in a way to ship and pack, but you also sell essential oils.
Yes.
Which means they are in glass bottles and usually quite fragile, right? If you don't handle it properly, the bottles may break during shipment. So how do you overcome this challenge? Because I know some people do sell fragile stuff. Not everyone sells easy to pack.
Yeah, when we first started, we follow what most sellers do, bubble wraps, and that's it. We send it out. Then we try to do as many layers as possible. And at first, when we started follow that, and then we noticed that there are still cases of breakage. It doesn't really work, even though other sellers are doing it. We found that it doesn't really work. And first, another thing is the customer experience, because we think about what if we are in the customer's shoes. So when we receive it, when we receive package, okay, it's just wrapped like that, okay. But if you receive a broken one, you will be very angry, or you're very frustrated, very sad. So we think of the customer side. So so when what we do is we try to change of how we pack the things, by doing researches of how fragile things, how does fragile things will break. What we did is actually we even look at videos of astronauts when they go to the sky, right? Go to space, when they come down back to Earth, they will actually drop down to us very fast, very hard. So how come the people can still survive inside the shuttle? So we even look, the rocket. So we even look at that. Say, oh, okay. And if you look at all these science videos of how things are dropped from high up, and it still doesn't break or doesn't. So we notice that there's a mechanics to it, to ensure that the things actually don't bang to the wall. So that's why we design our boxes to have a placeholder, and also we design that the outer layer to be harder. So it does take more time to actually pack it this way rather than just bubble wrap itself. But it's so far from our experience, we have zero breakage since then. Zero breakage.
Wow.
And then before we even try to once we we change the packaging many times to ensure that it really can work. So each time we change, we will ship it up. We will try to ship it up. No, we actually try to order it online, or we even ship it up to ourselves. We courier it back to ourselves and see that when we receive the package, is it still good? Is it still intact? Is it breakable? So we even try to throw it across the room and see whether does it break or not. This is how we do our test. So and then now we come to what we are doing now is what we are happy with now. So far, zero breakage, and we try many times sending back and forth of the same package back and forth to the courier many times, and still see that when you open our packaging, even the box that come with the bottles still in mint condition, means it's like you receiving, it's as if you buying the box and the bottle from the shop itself.
So it's not even the box is not dented lah.
Even the box is not bent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But we do
that's
have people from customers.
But that's
But
that's a
there are
good
pros and
innovation.
cons. Yeah, but we have customers saying that it's very hard to open because we seal it very tight, and they sometimes say it's a bit hard to open. But it's for us is also to prevent people from tampering the package also. Because if you receive it and you see it's easy to open, means is there is a possibility of tampering with the package already. This has also come from one of our previous experience. There is one case when we ship the customer through from marketplace, and the customer order from marketplace, and we ship up the customer, and then the customer requests for a refund. They say that this is not the product that they want. Then they request for a refund, and then when we receive it, the item back itself, we notice that the packaging in the bottle is already open with, and the content of inside the bottle is totally different from our oil.
Oh.
The customer was buying lavender that time. Then we send out the lavender. When we receive back the bottle, it doesn't smell like our lavender at all. Definitely no, and it smells like fragrance oil. And when I open it, the smell was so overpowering. It's very
definitely synthetic lah.
Definitely synthetic. So the content was changed.
Okay.
The content was changed.
What is your label? What is your label?
It's our label. Our label is our bottle, but we can see the bottle have been opened because there's a seal in the bottle. The bottle have been opened and the content have been changed, and we know that somewhere along the line, someone did the change. But we don't know who or what. But then
wow, that sounds really strange. I mean, to take the effort to change up the contents and refill with something else, and then send it out again. Okay.
Yeah, so we don't know where it comes from. We also don't want to point fingers, but then this is one of the lesson that we learned. So that's why we ensure when we pack, we want to ensure that it's also make it difficult for people to try to tamper it with that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that even essential oils, so people want to. I thought usually it's like like electronic gadgets, more expensive stuff. They switch up with something that is cheaper, poorer quality, right?
But But this one we also encountered it. Anything can happen.
I want to bring up this this comment. Q Hong says, I tried making soap with Jerrica, found it so tedious, I asked her to make for me easier. I couldn't remember the weightage of the ingredients. Yeah, but it is an interesting process, and I must say this because I have also done your soap making class, and I find it very interesting. It's pretty much like science, right? It's like being in a science lab and mixing things up and all that. So yes, Q Hong, we hear you. So there are different markets, right? So there are people who want to make their own soaps, and there are people who want to buy soaps from you. So it's good. Different segments. But over the years of running your own online store and seeing the results, and I would say it has also allowed you to finally get out of your job, right, and focus full time on the business. How do you feel now, looking back on the 6 or 7 years journey? And it started from one thing, right, which is trying to find a solution for your son.
Yeah. I would say we are happy that we founded Soapcart. It actually enables us to spend more time with the families. It also enables us more freedom. I mean, in terms of our timing to do stuff, and also it actually gives us a lot of learning experience. And I also get to meet not to say me, it's online, so mostly
Yeah.
it's chatting, chat with many kinds of people. So some of the question they ask is very interesting. Sometimes it really challenge of what you know. Because sometimes some of the question they ask is something that you may not know of, and then it does challenge you and it gives you more drive to research for the answers and the solutions for them, to help find solutions for them.
For instance,
Um,
what are some of the questions that he asked you? What are some of the things that comes out suddenly from nowhere?
it actually some people actually they ask about even the composition of the essential itself. I mean, people know, most people will actually ask, this essential is used for what and all those stuff, right? But now people is those more informal, they actually even ask for percentage of certain composition in the oil itself. So that one is actually help us to actually look into our lab result, because we do send our also lab test to make sure that it's pure. We also look at the lab result and then we scrutinize each of the components and all those stuff to do the summary. So that one also help us to really look into final details of the product itself, and then we also able to ask customers how much percentage they are looking. We can answer them, and then in terms of the soap, the people ask of funny ingredients of can I put this in the soap? Can I put that in the soap? Or can the soap do this or that? So that one also, some of the ingredients is we haven't never heard of also.
Okay.
Like example, the other day someone asked for black turmeric. I never heard of black turmeric.
Okay.
I also never seen what is black turmeric. I know it's the yellow turmeric.
Yeah.
They say it's black turmeric, so I also don't know how it smells like. So they tried to explain to me. So currently, so I searched the internet. Okay, there's something a black turmeric. So I'm very curious what does black turmeric taste like also. So
Okay.
now
I never heard of it. I mean, I know turmeric is turmeric, but I never knew there's a black and yellow version.
so far we know the yellow version, but now they are
Yeah.
asking about the black version. So
Black version.
yeah, so I'm looking for the black version. Where can we get it in our local market to see
Okay.
how we cook it also.
So
So
in that case, you have also been pushed by your customers to look into different ingredients or different, I would say, different ingredients and different products that you can potentially retail on your shop.
correct. Yeah, we always welcome them to give us what they're looking for. Like recently, we introduced some the prickly pear seed oil is because of a lot of customer request it, so we source for it. Yeah, then
I want to say, I want to give a shout out to you also. But I got the prickly pear seed oil from you, and I really like the fragrance. It's very
the
addictive. I do not.
naturals.
Yes, it's very addictive. It smells a bit like a cross between like cinnamon, some kind of spicy undertone, but it smells really good, and it really goes on really well. It doesn't make your skin oily, but it just smells so good. For the smell alone, I would buy.
Yeah, it's very nice. I also like it.
So that was also
The
prompted by
smell,
your customer.
yeah. My customer, they actually a lot of them ask for it. So we were saying that we don't carry at the moment. Then as people start looking for, I mean they all asking for it. More and more people request. So we look around for the, because when we want to search for product, also we must make sure that the source and the materials and the location are trustworthy and reliable. So that's why sometimes it takes us longer to take the product in. So because our motto is also it must be affordable to the mass. So if the price is too high, then we also can't really take it in because what makes Sokat different is we want to make it a good quality ingredient and materials, and at the same time it must be affordable. It must be affordable for people.
I have one question I want to ask. What's your advice for anyone out there who's thinking of starting an e-commerce business? After hearing your story for the last 50 minutes or so, What do you have like
Mm,
I know you learned a lot during your journey 6-7 years ago, starting from where you started with your pop-up markets and your weekend markets, right? And until today,
mhm.
where you have a successful online store and business is just coming in. You don't have to go out and get the business. So, but what's your advice if anyone out there is thinking, oh, I want to be like her, I want to start something and sell something online?
I would say being on okay, e-commerce is different from having a physical store. If you're selling a products, you must think of because people online they can't really go to your shop and then touch it and feel the products. So if you're doing for e-commerce, the write-ups, the informations, is must be as detailed as possible, and the photos is it must be what they see is what they get. What they see is what they get, and then how you're going to pack it and deliver it to them is something that you really need to consider, and it's also part of your um, costing as well because the flyers, the packages, and the rest is also part of your cost. Most people they don't really when you first started e-commerce is oh this is the product, this is how much I want to sell, and that's it. They never even factor in there are other costs involved, and then also get a very good website,
Mm.
a good website with a good hosting and all those because starting e-commerce it is important for people to know you online. When they search for it, they can see you online. So invest in getting a good SEO for your website so that people when search for certain product, your name will pop up. And then of course, uh, whenever possible, I say the best would be join the marketplace. Not only having a website alone, but join marketplace because they can really push. They can really help to push for you, and also learn from them how they market, how they push. I mean how they do their campaigns. You can learn from there and then apply it to your own website.
Okay.
I think if I think more,
My other question would be this: you're on the marketplace, right? And a marketplace is not just you alone, right? You probably have other competitors or people selling same or similar, even same products, lah. How
Mhm.
do you deal with things like that, or is that okay, or how over the years how have you come to terms with that? Because I'm sure everyone's on the marketplace anyway, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
stiff competition. So how do you differentiate yourself, even if it is a marketplace?
For us is we are confident of two things. First thing is we let the product speak by itself, and the second thing is how we support and serve our customers. We Yours marketplace is majority of the customer they won't just come in and buy from you. They will actually try to initiate a chat with you, asking you before they purchase. Usually, for new customers, they will initiate a chat and asking you how to use the products or what is it good for and all those things. So it is important that you engage with them. Engage with them and then try to explain to them as much as possible. For serve them. I mean, treat them as your friends. When you communicate with them. Uh, then try to answer them truthfully, but truthfully. Not to say try. You must answer them truthfully. I think this is what I
Yeah.
believe. We must answer them truthfully. What we I have one customer that commented that they are very, very honest
Mm.
and they are very happy with it because when they want to purchase some things, when we see that actually they don't need this, we'll tell them actually you don't need this. We
Mm.
actually tell them that rather than some
Okay.
sellers that, oh yeah, you can use it. You can also help you.
Yeah, buy
So
more, right? Buy more better.
buy more. But sometimes we do have friends and tell me that, you are too honest in selling.
Mm.
You are too honest. So for me, is being honest is good. If you don't need it, I will tell you, you do not need this. You may need some, or maybe you can look elsewhere, or you can even recommend who sells this, who sell other things. So, there are customers that they say that they're happy that we are very honest with them, rather than try to get them to buy more. And in the end, they actually buy from us also, even though they don't need it because maybe they feel that yeah, we are very, very truthful to them. So this is what keeps us going also. So engagement with customer, and also let your product speak for itself. Of course, we also do Facebook marketing, Facebook ads to help to make people know about our products and branding.
Okay. So when you talk about marketplace is one, and then of course you talk about engagement. So it means that are you always on the phone to answer or to chat?
Yes, most of the time. Yes, even at night, sometimes midnight. When I see, I always have the tendency, since I'm free, since I know the answer, I also answer them now. I got this tendency to try to reply as soon as possible. But if I fall asleep, then sorry, I really can't reply on time.
So
Because
it means
messages
that
is
you also
coming.
have to be like alert lah, right, to incoming messages from the marketplace chat.
Yeah. You have to be alert. So yeah, so we also try to look for other ways that people can help us because I said this is so far is our me and husband are working on it, so we also need people to on
Yeah.
my daughter just coming.
You can show her on the screen, it's okay. And she
Oh,
must be
okay, it's
resting.
very messy. Okay, it's very messy.
That puts
So
a reality spin to our Facebook Live.
what was I saying? Yeah, I say we were usually online most of the time. Yes, answering customers' questions.
Okay. So we have almost come to the end of our show. But before we leave, I want to ask you, is there anything, any last words, anything that you want to say about your journey? And when you look back upon your 6 or 7 years journey, anything that you feel like it was, I would say that you started without knowing that you started a business.
That's correct. That's correct. I would say sometimes you really don't know what life brings you. Uh, but then if you take it one step at a time and then you work hard for it, I think, and you have the the correct desire, I think you should be able to achieve it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Thank you. Wait, let me show your website. So for those of you who are watching and who are now very curious already, right? Now you're very curious about what she sells. So besides handmade soaps and essential oils, what else do you sell now?
We actually have a lot of raw materials for soap makings, but we haven't got a chance to publish it up yet. We just uploaded our colorant, and then we'll be introducing more range of essential oils as we go along, and like soap making materials like um the the ingredients and all those stuff. Yeah. We'll be uploading more and more.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jerrica, for I know your story, but every time I hear a story, it sounds new. It sounds different, because it's sometimes it's the way you tell it also. Maybe if I ask a different question, you tell it differently. But I think today is a little bit more complete. I can actually find out more about how you started and all that. And because we've been friends for so long, it's also sometimes, friends usually we assume we know each other's story. So
Yeah.
that's why today has been very interesting for all of us here, not only not only myself. I hope the people who are watching this are actually going to learn some interesting strategies and tips from you, and they know that it is doable. Because I think one of the things that I also want to tell people is that it's doable. Because sometimes we hear all the big boys kind of story, right? Like the mega huge ones. But I also want to bring it down to a very doable, very human level, and very much like, hey, Jerrica is just like someone, who's like someone your friend, right? And she has done something for herself, even though he started off with just wanting to find out a simple solution for her son's special needs. So Then what? Q Hong was saying refresher. Yes, this is a refresher. We all need to have refresher of what we know of Jerrica. So for those of you who like this and who've watched this through the entire 1 hour, I want to ask you, what do you like most about today's interview, and what do you learn that you use for your own life or business? So I think sometimes, it's very easy that you listen to something and then you kind of forget about it because it's just like another show or another Facebook Live that you've seen. But I think one of the things that if you're really interested in e-commerce, maybe there are some key takeaways. And I would encourage people to use some of what you've shared. And I think you shared very honestly. You've given us a lot of things that we can use. Even in Ireland, I didn't know you had to redesign your packaging. And I know the part about you throwing packages across the room to see whether they break. But I didn't know about the part that you had to put. You have a special insert, right, for the bottles and all that, so that they don't touch the side of the box.
Walls.
Yeah. So a lot of R&D goes into it, and I think that's the best thing about business, right? The things you do now are very different from the things you started off with when you first started to design labels for your soaps and all that. So for all of you who are watching, thank you so much for being here with us at this hour. And then, and Q Hong is our biggest fan today. Biggest fan today. Great to share with our mentees. Yes, please do. The whole reason I do this is also because sometimes people ask me like, oh, do you have any examples of people who have done this? And examples of people who have done really well in online retail. And I always bring your story up, Jerrica, precisely because I know you and I know your story. And so, yeah, like Yuan says, yes, great to share with our mentees. So go out there and share this episode with your friends, especially people who want to start but don't know how to start, or even I think most people are afraid to start. Let's not don't know how to start. It's just that they are afraid to get started. So if you like this Facebook's live series, please share this episode with your friends. Please like us. We are on. Also find out more about us at redboxstudio.com. And I look forward to seeing you, all of you, 2 weeks from now, where I will bring on a communications expert. So every 2 weeks, I bring on someone different, talk about a topic that's relevant to our business and our entrepreneurship life. So thank you so much, Jerrica. Thank you for being with us. And any last comment? That's the again. That was there. I was just writing for me. Great. Now you know. When we know, we have a greater appreciation for the things that go into it. So thank you so much, Jerrica. And for those of you watching, happy Deepavali. Enjoy your holiday, even though it's CMCO. Enjoy whatever time you can spend with your family. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy Deepavali.